with this truly horrible story, truly horrible. The case against the suspect in the murder of Fort Hare student Mtebeni has been postponed. The 25-year-old man allegedly butchered her body and put the parts in a suitcase before throwing it at an East London street. He is believed to have been in a relationship with Mtebeni. Her murder has sent shockwaves throughout the country, with thousands calling for justice. eNCA's Ayesha Ismail is at the East London Magistrates Court covering that story for us and joins us now for an update. Ayesha, thank you. This has truly sent shockwaves across the country, and unfortunately it's not for the first time, right, that we are in this situation discussing yet another senseless killing of a woman in South Africa. Tell us about the court appearance this morning. What has happened?
Where the suspect in this case is now officially been identified as Anelisa Ngcakani. He made a very brief court appearance this morning, and the magistrate then read him his rights. She also said to him that he has a right to legal representation, and then said to him that if he wishes to apply for bail, he will have to then get a lawyer. He then shook his head, indicating that he did not have any intentions of applying for bail at this stage. In any case, the state had already indicated that they would oppose bail. But I'm now joined by the spokesperson for the National Prosecuting Authority, Anelisa Ngcakani. Anelisa, you were in court this morning to monitor the proceedings. What were the charges against Anelisa Ngcakani?
Okay, it's murder, and the second charge is defeating the ends of justice. But the investigation is continuing, so there's a possibility that more charges could be added.
Now, the matter has been postponed to the 28th of September. Why was it postponed?
It was postponed to the 28th of September to collect more evidence. The police need to conduct further investigations, and also he abandoned bail. The 25-year-old accused abandoned bail, so it was not postponed for bail but for further investigation.
Now, we also heard earlier that he had made a confession. Tell us about that.
Okay, in his confession, he said that what led to this whole tragedy is his suspicion that the 23-year-old deceased was cheating on him. This is what he was saying, because the two were involved in a romantic relationship and were living together in the Quigney area. The accused is originally from Danzane, and the deceased is from Matatiel, but they were living together in the Quigney area. So he said that after she came back from holidays, during the beginning, at the beginning of August, he said that he noticed that she was acting differently, because usually she would allow him to have access to her cell phone. Now all of a sudden she had pins to the cell phone, and she didn't want him to have access to the cell phone. So from the 16th, that's when the argument started. And after a night of them, this is what he says, the night of drinking, then she fell asleep, and then he took her cell phone and tried to open it and guessed a lot of combinations on pins until he finally succeeded. And then he says that his suspicions were confirmed when he saw a photograph of this lover, of her alleged lover, and also love messages from him as well.
Now, we know that one of the charges is defeating the ends of justice. What does that entail?
What happened was that the following day, on the 17th, he then confronted her once he viewed the cell phone, and that's when an argument started between the two of them. And then he says that the argument became physical. He claims that she bit him and scratched him on some areas on his body, and then he says that he pushed her too hard towards the wall, and she got injured, the back of her head and also the front of her face. And then he says that she started foaming. Then he alleges that she then passed away due to that. That's when he said that he started with his plan of dismembering the body. But his ultimate goal, he says, was to cover his tracks, to conceal the murder so that he would not be caught out. So that's why he went on to online, the internet, to find out how to dismember a body and what tools you need. And that's what he says he did, and packed them in bags. And then on the 19th, stayed with the bags in the house on the 17th and the 18th in an effort, because he said that he saw the blood was dripping from the bags. So he covered the bags with his gown, so that in order to stop the dripping. Once he saw that the dripping had stopped, that's why on the 19th at about 5 a.m. he then took 2 bags, carrier bags, and then dumped them at a dumping site here in the Quickney.
How did it happen that the police stumbled upon these, the bags and the suitcase?
What we do know at the moment is that we've got various witnesses that say that they saw the contents of the bags and alerted the police. About 2 witnesses then flagged down the police who were patrolling the area and alerted them that, listen, there are human body parts, cut up human body parts in these bags. Then that's when the investigation unfolded, and that's when they fortunately, what led them to the young man was a witness who lives in the same house where they were renting, who said that she saw him carrying these bags out of the house.
Thank you so much for your time, Anelisa. That was Anelisa Ngcakani from the National Prosecuting Authority. We're just listening to what Anelisa had to say. It sounds like something out of a movie, and unfortunately we were not allowed to take our cameras into court, but I was present in court and I saw the accused. He's quite a big person, a big chap, and I'm just thinking that, Nisicelo didn't stand a chance against this man. But Tunas, I just want to move out of shot so that you can see all the students here, people coming out in support of Nisicelo Mtebeni. What we also do know that on Wednesday, the University of Fort Hare will shut down completely. Wednesday, the 25th of August, has been declared a day of mourning, and there will be a full program at the university on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's truly a horrific story there, Ayesha. And as the spokesperson for the NPA was outlining what is contained in the reported confession of the accused, you sort of pick up all the hallmarks of what ails our society, right? The whole sense of entitlement and feeling like this man owned this woman, that he was entitled to intercept and look at her communications and make all sorts of demands. eNCA's Ayesha Ismail out in East London tracking that truly horrible story that really talks to just how sick our society is and just how men continue to behave in this particular society.